Okay, I'm gonna try not to cry in this video, but no promises. This is gonna be talking about something where the wound is still really, really fresh and ongoing. So, yeah, starting with this is a life update video because I feel like I want to just talk about what's going on, even just for myself as like a video diary that I can come back to and like look back on like in a couple of years or something. So my last video was obviously really negative, and yeah, addressing the elephant in the room quickly. Yes, my hair's gone, and I wasn't gonna come on camera like this, but you know what, I just thought, fuck it, whatever, sorry if there's background noise, it's my washing machine. So I'm really just jumbled. Yeah, the last video I posted is really negative, and yeah, sorry to say that things have gone even worse since then. If you think that's even possible, I mean, things can always get worse, to be honest with you. Every time I think I'm at the bottom, no, I ain't. So some other shit just comes right in and fucks me up while I'm already down, until I get to a point where I literally can't cope anymore, which is right now. I didn't shave my head because of a mental breakdown. It was actually like a really thought about decision, like I thought it through, and I just decided, you know what, it's really just time for me to start over because my hair was causing me so much stress and I couldn't ever get it to a point where it was okay. I had like a bunch of really short broken hairs on the top of my head, and the only way that was ever going to get solved is if I really just got rid of everything and let it all grow at the same pace. It was like this was the last resort, let me tell you. And it's been almost 2 weeks now. Like, it's been 13 days since I did it. And yeah, I did cry when I started, I started just chopping off my hair first before I went in with the hair clipper. And then yeah, once I got down to like this part, I was like, oh shit, everybody's tried to tell me that like, oh, it looks great, like it, like my dad said that it looked good, and I thought that he was like joking, but apparently he was being serious. And I don't know, my family, they are already like trying to tell me that I look fine and whatever. But I don't feel it, and I feel embarrassed going out in public like this. And I was wearing a wig, but then like wigs are just so itchy and uncomfortable, and then I just thought, and everyone can tell it's a wig, so I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Like, so I just like stopped after like the first week. But every time I go out in public, I feel really self-conscious and think that like, I just don't know, because like, not that there's anything wrong, with having a shaved head as a woman, but I personally, it feels really wrong for me. Like, this does not look like me, and I don't feel like me. And that's the problem. It's like, I just go out and I don't feel like me. But I'm not going to dwell on that for too long. That's what's happened. It wasn't a Britney moment. Even though, like, I'm feeling like that, like I actually am mentally breaking down, but it was something I'd like really thought about, and I did very like meticulously, if you know what I mean. Not that it matters, it doesn't even matter. I don't know why I'm even explaining myself, because it doesn't matter. Fuck, okay. I'm already getting emotional. Like, it's just, I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of being stressed and on edge and just anxious all the time. And let me tell you now why. Biggest life update. One of my cats, I have 3 cats, in case you didn't know. I have 2 boys, 1 girl. The girl, she is like 10 years old. And the boys, Kyle is like 4.5 and Taz is like 3.5. So Taz, the youngest one, started having problems since, well, to be honest, since I moved house, because I moved 2.5 months ago, whatever. There was an incident that happened, so he was already like quite nervous from moving house, and it's a stressful life change, for everyone, not just humans, for animals as well. And then we had an incident where these neighborhood cats are assholes. They're just complete fucking assholes. There's 2 of them, and they keep coming in my garden and terrorizing my cats. And spoiler alert, by the way, there's like nothing you can do about that. There is literally nothing you can do to stop these cats coming in and bullying my cats. So now I can't even let my cats out because of it. So that's honestly just amazing. I love that. Anyway, one of them came into my house through the window, because the way that I let my cats out is I don't have a door in the living room, so I let them out the window and I sort of just leave it open so they can come in and out. And that's what I did in my old house anyway, so I didn't have to keep going to the door and stuff. But I literally don't have a door in the living room. The door's in the kitchen, and I have to keep the kitchen closed because otherwise they'll steal shit from the kitchen. So anyway, this cat came in and was fighting with Babby, who is the 10-year-old female cat. And they were scrapping, and I had to like literally scream at this cat to get it out of my house. And ever since that happened, Taz was really on edge and really stressed, and it really got to him, I think. So what happened was, as a stress response, he stopped being able to pee. What I'd first noticed is he was going to random areas in the house, squatting down, trying to pee, and he just couldn't go. So I called the vet, and it's apparently like a complete emergency. When a male cat cannot pee, it is a complete emergency. Like, if there is a blockage, it can lead to death. They can die because their organs can start shutting down. So we had to take him to an emergency vet, which, because it was out of hours, which meant that it costs £229 just for the appointment. And they checked him, and like at the time he wasn't blocked. And honestly, this is just really hard to remember at this point, because it's been like 2 weeks of this shit, maybe even like close to 3 now. I don't know anymore. I have no concept of time. Like, it's all just gone like this blur over my head. But I'm pretty sure at that point he wasn't admitted to like the hospital in the vet. But the guy advised us, like, I think he gave us some like medication for him, and he said, yeah, he did. So he injected him with like an anti-inflammatory thing that could like help him go, but then he still couldn't go. So then at like 4 in the morning or something, I had to take him to the vet by myself, because my boyfriend John, he was asleep and he had work, and like me like going to the vet by myself was like so stressful for me, trying to get him in the cat carrier by myself, get him in the car and take him there at 4 in the morning. And he ended up having to be admitted into the hospital because he had got blocked. And as soon as I dropped him off and I was driving home, I was literally wailing like in my car. It was like pure like agony leaving him there, because I have separation anxiety, and like, I don't know, like most people probably won't understand like the level of emotional bond I have with my cats. Like, they are like my children. Like, the pain that I've experienced has been absolutely unbearable agony. Like, I don't know, like, I'm an extreme emotional person anyway. Hello, BPD. So things like this happening, I can't even take it when like minor inconvenience is happening, but when like my literal cat's life is on the line, I can't. It's made even worse by the fact that he's the youngest out of all of them, and knowing that I could lose him to this is just the most like I can't even bear the thought of it. I can never bear the thought of it, and I keep thinking about it, and I just keep re-traumatizing myself every time it enters my brain, and just crying and crying and crying. Anyway, I'm like getting ahead of myself here, because there's just... I've already been talking for 10 minutes, and I've like barely even explained it, my god. So whether he stayed at the vet for a couple of days, he came home, and then guess what? Kyle, who's normally like his best friend and they're like really good together, started being a dick to him and wasn't accepting him and was hissing at him and trying to hit him. Babby never like doesn't like the two of them anyway, so there's like no difference with her. But because his scent was then different from being at the vet, Kyle was being funny with him. We had to like keep them separate. But then he just got stressed again, and I don't think I kept them separate for long enough. Like I was trying to sort of reintegrate him, and it just didn't really work. Even then, like he wasn't doing his like pees were quite small. It wasn't a good amount. It wasn't like enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he just wasn't able to fully empty his bladder. Bladder got full again. And like we'd taken him for like checkups in between, and then I remember them being like, oh yeah, his bladder is getting like full again, but you know, they don't really want to take him back into hospital if it can be avoided, because it cost the first time it was like £1,300 for like the entire like stay and everything. Like these out of hours vets are no fucking joke, and it's like you have to go to the out of hours if you need your pets to stay overnight, because the normal vet does not do that. They have a operating time in the day, and that is it. So yeah, that was crazy. I have insurance, but it's not covered all of it. It's covered most of it, thankfully, but holy fuck, it's not cheap to have your cat hospitalised, and I didn't realise it could get so expensive. But anyway, yeah, so his bladder got full again, but then, you know, he got sent home again, and then it got to a point where he was just leaking pee everywhere, and then it just got to a point where it's like he had to go back in again, because it was clear that he wasn't able to empty his bladder. So then he had to get hospitalised again, and this was last week. So I guess it has been sort of like 3 weeks, I think, since it like began. And then this time when he came home, he's been on also like a cocktail of medications, and this time I think the medication was really helping him, because he's still going, and he's going really good amounts, and it seems really healthy. Also had to put him on a special urinary diet, which was really expensive, and it's really hard to like feed him like separately from the other cats and not have them get like jealous and like things like, oh, whatever. But now, last night, there was blood in his shit, basically. Don't even know like what word to use. Like on the phone I was just like, in his feces. It's so like scientific, whatever. So there was blood in it, and you know, they said I could just like monitor him overnight and see what happens, and like call the actual vet in the morning. Sorry, that's Babby. And you know, I just contacted the vet anyway about it, because I really didn't want to have him go in there again, because it causes him a huge amount of stress to obviously go to the vet. And I thought, oh my god, if he has to go to the vet again, he's going to get stressed, and he's going to then get blocked again, and then just like that's it, like it's just like over. And like one overarching thing I haven't mentioned is like, if he doesn't like get better and he doesn't manage to settle back in, it's done. Either he has to be put down or rehomed, which obviously rehomed is like the better option of the two, you know, because you don't really want to euthanize a cat. But for me, the outcome, it doesn't matter either way. I've lost him and I'll never see him again. And like to lose a cat like this young, like into their life, like he barely got to like live with me at least. Can't bear the thought of it. I've cried so much, like constantly. I'm in a constant state of dread and anxiety, thinking, oh my god, it's gonna happen again, and then that's it, I'm gonna lose him, it's all gonna be over, like it's not gonna work out, like he's not gonna be okay. I can't take any more of the pain right now if it were to actually happen. I don't know how I would get through it, because I'm so like beaten down and downtrodden that I cannot cope with anything right now. Even at the best of times, it would be soul destroying, but at a time when I am under this much stress, I can't. Like, it's been completely eating me alive. I cannot even describe it. It's like one of the worst pains. It's like feeling heartbreak before your heart is even like broken. It's like your heart just keeps breaking over and over the thought of just something happening. Sorry, I'm trying to just breathe, but it's yeah, it's really rough. So I still don't know what's going to happen, and I'm just like, every moment is just dread and fear. One positive thing has happened. Well, I say that because it hasn't even happened yet, but I'm supposed to be getting a new job working at a hostel for people that are addicted. Well, it's like for homeless people that are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And I'm going to be like a support worker. It's going to start out very sort of slow, like ease into it. Like I'm going to do some like shadow shifts where I'm with another person and stuff. But there's been issues with my references. I actually had to get a reference from my university, which is online, and they could only provide an academic reference, but thankfully that was good enough, because I just don't have, like, I'm self-employed, and I'm only, like, I don't have clients. I just work like by myself, and I don't have anyone that can give me a reference. All I've got is like the volunteer job I did at the prison, and I put that down as one, and now there's an issue with that, which is apparently they can't find a record of me being there, even though I was there for like a few months last year. It wasn't as if I'd only gone there like once or twice, like I'd been there a few months. So if that falls through, I guess I'm not even going to get the job, so can't even be happy that I like got like this job now, because it's not even like set in stone. But I mean, I thought I fucked the interview for it anyway, and I didn't apparently, so that's a good thing, I guess. I just didn't. I could go on and on basically about like the Taz situation, but I don't wanna like overspeak, do you know what I mean? Like I only wanted to make this video probably like 20 minutes, and it's kind of getting to that point now, and I just wanted to really talk about what's going on and how I'm feeling, and just she is really trying to like sit on me right now, and just please. I'm just in like indescribable pain. I have an assignment that's due like in like 10 days. I was given an extension because it's supposed to be due in a week, and my tutor only gave me 3 days as an extension. I'm just like, are you joking? Like, I've told you, I'm under an extreme amount of stress. I can't even absorb information right now. And every time I've tried to sit down and like realize what I need to do for the assignment, or like trying to like study, read information, it's just not going in. It's just not going in. I can't do it. So how am I supposed to write an 1,800 word essay if I can't even absorb information? Like, her reasoning behind it was like, oh, you know, because you need to still have time to prepare for the end of module assignment. I was like, I don't give a fuck about that right now. Like, I can't even do this one. And I'm not gonna pass if I don't, like, oh. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's basically my life. Shaved my head. Don't regret it because it needed to be done, but I'm like not liking how I look. might lose my cat, that's my youngest cat, and I'm like, can't bear the thought of that. And like, some of you might understand what it's like to have like this emotional bond with your pet where it actually would feel like losing a family member. I know a lot of people, like, their pets are family members, but when I was a kid, like, my family pets, when they died, it was, you know, yeah, it was kind of sad, but like, I just sort of accepted it as just something that happens, you know. But since having like my own cats that I've raised from kittens, my bond to them, it's like they're my children, literally, because I raised them from babies to now the adults that they are. So why would I not have that connection with them, you know what I mean? And like, obviously I'm really like fucking paper skin person anyway, so it's like everything hurts me like a million times more than the average person, and just it hurts so bad. But I'm gonna go now because I like I said, I could go on and on about it, but yeah, just pray for me, I guess. Pray for my cat. Thank you for listening, and yeah, I'll see you again sometime.